Yeah.
Welcome to the Rhinebeck Scoop. I'm your host, Jennifer C., and I'm dishing out social commentary about our beloved town, Rhinebeck. This is your radio show, so give me the topics you would like me to discuss. DM me, email me, or leave me a voicemail. I will keep you anonymous unless you specify. We are doing a normal half episode with Matty and Jen, and then for the second half of the episode, for some Halloween fun, I'm recording from my haunted house right outside of RBK to tell you the house's history and the spirits that live with me. Okay, so let's move on to Boujee Banter. I just want to tell everyone this, everyone who's down on Tops. I went to Tops at 8:35 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, and there was a woman bagging her groceries in a disco ball-covered sweatshirt and white go-go boots. So let me tell you something. You are not getting that at Adams. So I do have to give a little shout out to Tops there. And I also want to say that I love, now this is a little bit of old news, but I love that a board member lost their shit at a September 3rd planning board meeting. I was going to go to that exact meeting, but I didn't. I was so annoyed that I missed it. So let's play a little game. Matty and Jen, you ready for this game? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I did not attend the meeting because A, I had a migraine. B, I got sucked into We Are the World documentary on Netflix. Or C, all the above.
C, all of the above.
I'm going to go with C.
Wow, you guys guessed it right. I thought you guys were going to guess B, but yes, it's C. So I missed all the drama. I just wanted to thank that board member for giving me something to talk about. We love outbursts and we love controversy here, so keep it coming. Now I have a Weekend Warriors segment. Now ask me, guys, one of you have to ask me. Tell me about the event you went to.
Tell me about the event you went to.
I didn't go to one.
Oh.
Can you ask that with a little more enthusiasm?
No.
I did not go to one as usual. Matty and Jen have now been asking me for how many months to go to an event. Yeah, I know.
Forever.
I know, forever. And I still haven't gone to one, but I do have a good recommendation. It's fall in the Hudson Valley, which is so exciting. This is our big season for the Weekend Warriors. If you haven't traveled up here for this year, then something is seriously wrong with you. Now through the holidays is the best time, best weather. So come on up any weekend. And I have the most beautiful road that's a Hudson Valley hidden treasure for leaf peepers. But I have to say, I'm not going to tell you what that road is because it's my road and I don't want any fucking drivers on it. So, but I will give you another road, and that is right outside the village of Red Hook. If you take Crestwood Road to Feller Newmark Road, it's absolutely stunning. You will be under a canopy of beautiful leaves if they're still on the trees, and it's really far out of my way, which is the best point. If storms come into the area and the leaves are mostly gone, it's still a beautiful country drive with plenty of farms, farmers markets, and pumpkin patches nearby. So what do you guys think of that?
That sounds good. But I was going back a little. You didn't go to this event before, but I thought we were going to guess why you didn't go to that event also.
Oh, shit. Did I not tell you the answer? I thought I said the answer.
I didn't.
Are we talking about the planning board?
No, we want you to just go to any event.
Yeah, but there was something else I thought you... Yeah, I thought there was something else you didn't go to. I missed that.
Oh, no, I just didn't go to an event. I just chose not to.
Oh.
Because I figured I would just focus on Halloween, and I thought that was a good idea.
Sure.
Yeah. And I'm recording early, so there aren't any Halloween events right now. So I think I have good logic. In November or late October, I promise you, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to go to an event. I'm going to be the mayor of the event, and you are going to be very proud of me. Okay, cool.
Can't wait.
So the sour of the moment, and this is combined with white people problems. I was one of the millions of losers who had their social security number stolen in that big hack. So I had to go through the whole dog and pony show of reporting fraud, alerting creditors, and everything. Did you guys get yours stolen?
I don't know.
I think yes, actually.
Mine is officially on the dark web. I have 3 notices about it. So, yeah, I was one of those people. And then here's the big one is the sweet of the moment. I have an idea for a holiday show in December. I want to run it by Jen and Matty. I would like to have a bake-off. And I'm thinking possibly Matt from Cidiot because he could bake a pie. And then possibly, I don't know about this second person, but possibly Eric Steinman because of his food background.
These are people who are going to be producing the food, not judging it.
They will be producing. They will be the participants.
So these are
The
pies or are there any food?
contestants. Hold on.
Oh,
Hold on.
I don't want to get ahead of you.
Yeah. And the third contestant would be, who do you think? Me.
Well, then of course.
It would be me. So it would be the 3 of us competing. And here would be the rules. No industrial seed oils. No rhubarb, fruitcake, raisins, mincemeat, or Jell-O of any kind.
I just want to back up a second. If anyone bakes you something and uses oil instead of butter, or
They can use
lard,
oil. They can use no lard. They can use oil.
No lard.
No, that's disgusting.
Well, the best
What would you lose? Oh, in a pie crust? No.
best pie crusts are made with leaf lard.
Yeah, but you can use other shit for that.
Yeah.
You have to be able to use other
it's-
shit for
It's
that.
not more disgusting than Crisco.
Yeah, no Crisco, no lard, no anything ultra processed. You can use things like olive oil. You can use grapeseed oil. You can use coconut oil.
Okay,
You can
so-
use butter.
So this is a problem.
Matt's beginning to flap.
You can't make a good crust without.
Fine, you can fucking make your crust with lard, and I won't eat it, or I'll eat like a taste of it. Fine. Are you happy now?
Happier.
Okay, so you're happy. Okay, can I continue, Matt?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the second is. No, I'm on the third. The third is Jen can't be a judge because you have weird food tastes.
That's in the eye of the beholder.
But you do, because when Matt talked about his pie making, you were grossed out. So you automatically wouldn't like his pie.
What was in it?
I don't remember. Did he mix substances? Because I'm with you. I don't
No,
want any raisins in there.
He just said general pie and you didn't like it.
Well, it depends on the pie.
Okay, so like what pie do you like?
Well, I don't really eat sugar. But if I was going
Oh,
to.
Jesus Christ. This bake-off is not going well already.
I like apple, pumpkin, pecan, cherry.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
I still don't think you should be a judge.
That's fair.
I think you could be here as eye candy.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we'll just use you as eye candy. And then that would have Matty as our judge.
I'm okay with
That's
that.
the right choice.
And then we could live stream it. And then we all have to wear ugly Christmas sweaters.
Okay.
I don't have one, but I'm sure
I'll
could
get you
find
one.
Oh, okay, good.
You'll wear it. I'll shove it on you.
Oh, I'll wear it. I just don't own one.
Now, here's a question. If I am the host of this show,
Yeah.
can I be a contestant and a judge?
No.
So it's all on Matty.
Yes.
You can't be a judge.
Really?
No, you
That would
can't.
be against the law.
Yeah, no. That's not how it works.
I think that would be a violation of something.
Do you want another judge? We can definitely find you other judges. We know people who
Sure.
are hypercritical.
Like who? Give me a name.
Well, hypercritical in a good way.
Okay.
Like Patricia Wind.
Okay.
Went to the Culinary Institute in California. I can't
Sure.
I don't remember.
CIA.
The CIA.
No, in
No.
New York.
Oh, she went to the CIA. She did something in California. Oh, she
Yeah,
worked
she
at
worked
French
there,
Laundry.
yes.
She'll share her feelings.
Yeah, this is getting too much for me.
Jeremy from
I
the
can just be
bagel
the
shop.
sole judge then. I'll just do the whole thing.
Wait, Jeremy who?
Jeremy from the bagel shop.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
I don't know.
No, I'm going to veto that right now.
Who else? Chris. No, she's too nice.
Chris.
Our Chris.
Chris eats like a 5-year-old. There's going to be something in these pies she won't eat.
Okay, so Matty is the judge.
I'll be excited to be the judge.
I may have Jen come in as a second opinion if there's some
Sure.
type of second
I can
opinion.
do that.
But what do you guys think of this?
I think it's a great idea.
I love it.
Now, the interesting part is I really haven't asked Matt or Eric. So they have not agreed to any of this, but I was just thinking in early December that would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone's into it. And do you think if we squish, we can put everyone in here?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We
Okay.
have before.
Yeah? How many
Yes.
people?
7.
7.
Really? You've
Yes.
had 7 people in here?
Yeah.
Crazily
But we're
enough.
not going to have these cushy Hello Kitty chairs.
Yeah, we'll
Everyone's
put
going
the
to sit on
stools
stools.
in. The stools.
Okay. There's going to be, what, 5 of us?
Yeah, that'll be no problem. 2 more people than we are now.
Yeah, that's true. That's not bad. And we're small people. Okay. So this is the first half of the episode. Bye, Matty. Bye, Jen. Everyone else grab a blanket and curl up for some fun ghost stories after this commercial break. Hey guys, do you know what would really help out me, this podcast, and potential listeners? Giving this podcast a 5-star rating wherever you listen. On Apple Podcasts, go to the page with all my episodes listed, scroll down, click tap to rate, and click on 5 white stars, and they will turn purple. To add a 5-star review, click on write a review. This takes less than 60 seconds of your time to ensure that people like you will find this podcast. On Spotify, go to the main show page, click on the 3 dots on the right next to the setting symbol, click on rate show, and give me 5 stars. This is vital, guys. If you have a partner, older children, or anyone else in your household that has a phone, make sure to borrow their phones and rate too. Good vibes all around. Thanks, guys. Welcome back. First, I'd like to get into some myths. I like to bust around ghosts so we're all on the same page. I'm using the term ghosts because it's good SEO and it attracts attention. And of course, everyone loves to hear about ghost stories around Halloween, and especially those of us, well, not me, but those of you who are really not steeped in the paranormal. It's super fun, and I understand that. But I want everyone to have a good understanding of what we're talking about so you can tell all your friends and your family. From a common paranormal standpoint, we are talking about spirits here. Spirits are those souls who have crossed over and then occasionally return to the human world. Ghosts are souls that have not crossed over and they're emotionally attached to a place, such as someone who died tragically. You hear of this all the time where someone died tragically in a house or somewhere else and they see this ghost and they hear this ghost. That is something that's common. Today, I'm talking about spirits. First, I'd like to say I've never had a P or a D in this house, and I don't like using these words, but poltergeist or demon, I have not had in this house. I have had experiences, but not here. I also want to say that I would not accept that, and I have the paranormal resources to get rid of a negative entity, and I do house clearings from time to time on my own house, so I have that skill and I know how to do that. I do not believe in playing with Ouija boards, only for those of us who really know what we're doing. And by the way, I don't play with Ouija boards. I've heard too many stories of amateurs playing with a Ouija board, and now a priest has to come in and do an exorcism, which, by the way, guys, it's not what you see on TV and in movies where it's one and done with the exorcism with Linda Blair and all of that. An exorcism can often last many sessions over months or even years. And so my PSA is, please, this Halloween, do not start fucking around with Ouija boards or divination tools that you don't know how to control. Trust me, I've actually seen it and what it can do, and it's not pretty. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about a brief history of my haunted house that is right outside of RBK. It's very Rhinebeck centered, or has a Rhinebeck centered history. Charles LaForge owned my house in the 1960s. Who is he? In 1958, Charles LaForge bought the Beekman Arms, becoming the longest running owner. In the 1980s, Charles added the greenhouse to the front of the ballroom. He purchased the nearby Delamater Inn and renovated much of the property. Charles also began adding more guest rooms when he constructed the courtyard complex behind the Delamater Inn. In 2002, George Banta Sr. purchased the Beekman Arms and the Delamater Inn from Mr. LaForge. Kind of fun that I have that history in my house. Now, my house is a timepiece. If you like vintage, you would love it. If you like museums, You would love it. I get really interesting reactions from people who come to visit, and you can tell just by the look on their face. They're like, ew, this is so old. It's so not my thing. It's not nice and new and sparkly and updated. To this is the coolest freaking house I've ever seen, and it looks like a museum. I remember when we bought the house, we had the house inspector come, and he said, I have never seen a house like this in all my years of doing this work, and it's really cool, and you should never, ever tear it down. The main part of the house was constructed in the 1950s, and we do waver with tearing it down and rebuilding to keeping it and renovating, because this is a house that's so unusual. You'll never see something like this again. And I waver with that because I feel like what's been happening a lot of the time is these older houses that bring so much history are torn down. And then you have just a cookie cutter house that's beautiful, but looks very Medicino Farms. If you know the LA thing, then you know what I'm talking about. Those type of houses. I mean, I kind of like that this is different and it's so unusual. And I'm really stepping into that now and saying, oh, wow, this is kind of a cool house. If you have watched the show Mad Men, when Don and Betty lived in Ossining in the first season, we have that exact kitchen. Exact. I mean, my stove is from the 1950s. Not even exaggerating. Or wait a minute, I don't cook. So it's the oven. It's the oven from the 1950s. It still works. And maybe I'll shoot a picture of that. I might do that for Instagram, but it's pretty funny. And when people come over, they're always like, you cook in that thing? I do. I cook in it and never had a problem with it. Knock on wood. It still works. Like they say, things back in the day that were made back in the day still work today. Because parts of this house are rumored to be from the 1700s, of course, it's haunted. The previous owners who we bought from lived here for 34 years, and then I moved in with my husband in 2019, and things started happening. Now, they own the house, again, for 34 years. Not a peep out of them. They didn't say a word. I questioned them on it, which you're going to hear. And they said, we've never had anything that resembled any type of haunting in the house. So here we go. We move in, and pretty early on, the TV starts turning itself off and on. I didn't think much of it, just thought it was some type of electrical glitch, because even though I'm really steeped in all this stuff, I want to make sure that I always go to the human explanation first. I want to go to the logical human and rule everything out. And anyone who does paranormal investigation or is involved in any of this, they'll tell you that's what they do if they're legit first. I mean, I don't think because something moved, oh, it's definitely paranormal. Maybe it was the wind. So I just want everyone to know that too. I didn't think much of it. Then it started to turn on and talk about weird things. It would just be talking to me. I'm like, okay, this TV is a little, I don't know what's wrong with it, whatever. Then the lights began to flicker on and off. And that was a little much for me. And it was only happening in the TV room. It wasn't happening anywhere throughout the house except that room. So I decided to call the previous owners who we're friends with. And like I said, they said nothing like that ever happened in 34 years in that TV room. So I brought out an electrician. He examined the entire room and said, nothing's wrong. You're fine. This shouldn't be happening. The previous owners then come to visit. And the night before, the TV turns on and starts talking about an elevator company in the city. And I get this feeling that the previous owner, the wife's father, is in the house. For some reason, I'm like, I bet this guy's here, meaning his spirit is there, and that he wants me to say hi to his daughter. The previous owners, the husband and wife, come over the next day, and I tell the wife about the TV talking about the elevator company. And also, it not only talked, but it showed me a picture of the elevator company, like it was on the internet or something like that. And she said her father worked there. She also said that he was very attached to the house and loved visiting, and he was constantly working on the property, loved the land very much. I do feel a loving male presence here who watches over the house and the property. And when you delve into psychic development, what's often discussed are the clairs, or the 5 psychic abilities that correspond to the 5 senses. The most popular one is clairvoyant, which means you can see spirits, for example. Everyone has these abilities. It's a matter of tapping into them. Those of us who use them on a daily basis, it's a muscle that we're constantly using. And trust me, it's no more than that. We're not special. We don't have these unique gifts or talents, in my humble opinion. It's just that we are tapped in to that side of the brain. The lesser known clair is clairgustance, the ability to psychically taste. Occasionally, when I'm in my office, I feel like I've just eaten something I haven't. For example, I had one day where all of a sudden it felt like I ate an entire Thanksgiving meal. I mean, we're talking, I could taste the turkey, the stuffing, the cranberry sauce, the gravy, everything. And it was not around Thanksgiving. I remember it was a warm month. Then I kept tasting Hershey Kisses and I couldn't figure it out. I realized it was the father. His nickname is Sonny. And he was possibly feeding them to me as a sweet grandfatherly gesture because I was going through a tough time. So what do? I, of course, text the previous owner, the wife, and she confirms that Sonny's favorite after-dinner treat was Hershey Kisses. I couldn't believe it. I thought that was pretty cool. I really like Sonny. I love that he watches over the house and the property and me, and he's like the grandfather I never had. Another story is my husband and I were in our front entryway. He was on the outside of the screen door. It was summer, and I was just inside. So perhaps we were not even 10 feet away from one another. In between us, we heard a scream as if a woman had tripped and was falling. You know, like when you trip on something, you're like you're about to fall, but then you catch yourself and you don't. That was the exact scream. It was very loud. It sounded like a middle-aged to older white woman. We were both like, what the hell was that? And we agreed that it sounded like a woman falling. I've heard that same type of scream twice afterward in the same spot. A third story is I was working in my office around noon on a weekday, and I heard an older but healthy white male voice scream, "Help." I don't want to scream into the microphone, but he was like, "Help." It sounded as if he was falling. Again, I don't know what the whole thing is with the falling. The voice sounded strong and loud and clear and only 20 feet away. So if you think of the house, I have my office. I would say in front of my office is this screened-in porch. So the scream I heard was right outside that screened-in porch. I ran outside, checked the area, checked to see if the township was cutting trees, even though I didn't hear any evidence of it. When they cut trees around here, it's so loud. You guys know you hear the chainsaws, you hear the trucks, you hear everything. I didn't hear a thing. It was silent except for that scream. And no one was there. 200 yards down the road is our neighbor. The house was being built at the time. I drove there to see if perhaps something happened, even though, right, I heard it from only 20 feet away. I was thinking, okay, maybe my mind was playing tricks on me and something happened at that construction site. And there were only 2 workers there who didn't speak English, and they seemed fine. The next week, the township came around cutting trees, and I asked them if anyone was there cutting trees on the day that I heard the scream, and they said no. Now, this story has a Rhinebeck tie-in to someone who passed away tragically. This paranormal event happened right around the time that the death occurred, and the newspaper reported the cause of death as one thing, but I think the actual death was a fall that led to the second cause. Out of respect for the family, I won't elaborate, but if they were to hear this, then they can always contact me. There's a widely accepted paranormal theory that some ghost or spirit occurrences are actually time slips where we, the humans, have slipped into the past. So we're not actually seeing a ghost. We've briefly slipped into the past where we are sensing, seeing, hearing the person when they were alive. I feel like with the 3 woman screams, I believe it was a time slip. And I've talked about this on my metaphysical podcast that I've time slipped before to a different time period. With the male scream, I believe it was a time slip combined with him knowing that he could connect with the right energy and get the word out about his passing somehow. I mean, I'm from the area. And a side note, I've done psychic detection, so perhaps he felt that energy too. Psychic detection is those psychic detectives that work with the police to try to help solve a crime or find a missing person. I've done that, so maybe he was just feeling that energy. Also, just a few little things that I think you'll like. A mysterious perfume will pop up in different areas of the house and then goes away. I've also smelled both cigarette and cigar smoke. In a guest room, I've had 2 guests stay at different times. Both have reported a white face or figure that is in the room. I've never seen it myself. When I record in my office, I will get EVP recordings. That's electronic voice phenomenon recordings. And especially when I record on the Metaphysical podcast, I have a couple examples saved of those recordings and I've played them back for the guest. And even the guest says, wow, that's definitely an EVP, because all of a sudden the guest and I are discussing and then you hear another voice cut in really quickly. And I have so many more ghost stories about this house and property and throughout my life in general. Let me know if you like hearing about the paranormal a little bit. I'm happy to discuss. I'm happy to bring it into this podcast a little bit if you want me to. If not, then I won't do it. To leave feedback on anything I've said today, I'd love to hear all of it. Agree with me. Tell me I'm totally wrong. Whatever you want. Call and leave a voicemail at 845-307-7446 or email me at comments@radiofreerhinecliff.org. Follow me on Instagram at Free Spirit Podcasts. This show is produced by me, Jennifer C., Matty Rosenberg, and Jen Hammoud at Radio Free Rhinecliff. Listen up, my little rhinos. I will be back with an episode on next Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024, with returning guest Allison Chawla to talk about all things Halloween in RBK. So get excited because we have this Halloween episode and then we have the next Halloween episode. Until next time, soak in the rays of that full moon energy. See you next week. Love you, RBK.
Yeah.